Chapter 49, Beijing Paralympic Trials, 2008. I came back from Egypt with stars in my eyes, deciding I would definitely get back into the swimming properly. The Beijing Olympic Trials are just round the corner. What should I do to get fit for this competition? A coach would be useful, as plodding up and down at the Springfield Centre swimming pool in Corsham every couple of mornings isn't going to be good enough. When I worked in Trowbridge, the company, DC Leisure, had sponsored me by allowing me to use the swimming pool for free at Trowbridge Sports Centre. I felt so honoured by this, so maybe they could help. Adrian and I got on the British Swimming website to try to find out some information and to get contacts, and in the end we spotted Stephen Fiveash, who lived in Melksham, which was pretty close. We sent him an email and asked if he could meet up with us, which we did at Springfield Centre, Corsham. I was very nervous when the day came to meet Steve, and the fluttering in my stomach made me feel a little sick. Steve was very sweet, and he made me feel at ease straight away. I got into the pool to show him a few of my strokes, and he commented straight away on my backstroke. He said, "You might not be fit enough yet to do 200s or 100s, but we can definitely try you on the 50 backstroke." Steve took a few times for some of the lengths I did, and you could see he was excited with the splits. After the session, he confirmed that I had a new coach for my goal to get to London 2012. I was very pleased with myself. Everything was great. I did a few hard weeks with Steve, making a few tweaks to my strokes. My dreams were alive. Just imagine if I could just pick up my gold medals. I am almost there. I could be good again. As we know, it's not that easy, and especially for me where everything seems to go wrong if there is a chance. Weeks had gone by and the training was going well, and then Steve said something that shocked me. "I have put you in a race in Sheffield." What? I've just started. I don't want to race yet. I wasn't sure that I was ready to race, or ready to get another failure. "You'll be fine." Okay. Can I really do this after all these years? What will it be like? Will it be the same as it was before I got sick? Can I beat my personal bests, my PBs? So many things were going through my mind that before I knew it, I was on the poolside at Ponds Forge in Sheffield, surrounded by loads of disabled people. Everyone kept saying, "Hi, Stephanie," and a lot of people seemed to know who I was, even though I didn't know anything about them. It was a strange feeling. It was almost as though they had been waiting for me to turn up since I had been diagnosed almost 10 years ago. I was swimming in a national competition for the Southwest against all the other regions. I was selected to swim 100 metres backstroke. Going up to the race, I was terrified, and it felt so different to how I had remembered. The swim was horrible. The time was horrible. I got out crying. It hurt so much to see the times on the board. My 105.18 personal best was replaced by the awful time of 118.56. What am I doing? I burst out crying again. It was awful. I cried, looking around for Adrian. Why am I doing this to myself? I have MS. I am sick now. I shouldn't be swimming. Adrian found me and put his arm around me. "Well done, you won your race. It was close, but you won." No, I lost. I lost it all. I remembered all that time training I had spent at Bath University, and all those fast times I had swam. "Let's go home. Let's get out of here," I said. And 4 hours later we were back to the place of safety, where no one was looking at me and where no one was putting a label on me. I was safe. It had felt so foreign on the poolside trying to swim fast again. Why did I do that to myself? I know why. I want to win that Olympic gold medal that I was supposed to have won all those years ago. A few weeks passed by, and again Steve said there was another race again in Sheffield, but it was the Nationals for disability swimmers, and that this was where I needed to be classified to see what group or classification I should be swimming in. I said yes again, even though I remembered all those horrible thoughts and feelings from last time. This time I would know what to expect. Now I can swim fast like I did all those years ago. I have done more training, so I will get much faster. I was again by the side of the pool at Ponds Forge, Sheffield, with disabled people all around me, limbs on the floor, children with one arm, one leg, and wheelchairs everywhere. Many smiling, happy faces of people so happy to be there competing, who wanted to swim to show off what they could do even with the disability. They all wanted to be there. I felt like I was in the wrong place again. I have 2 legs and 2 arms, so I don't have a disability. The classification went quite well, with the classifiers asking me to do all sorts of manoeuvres, from standing on one leg, which proved difficult, to swinging my arms around so they could see how coordinated I was. The classification finished, and I felt exhausted. I was awarded the S10 classification, which is the most able class. S1 to S10 are physically disabled swimmers, and S11 to S13 are eyesight difficulties. S14 is where the swimmer has special needs. Back to the physical classifications. S1 are very disabled swimmers, and S10 are the most abled, missing one limb or one thing. A swimmer classified as S9 would be missing 2 limbs or 2 things, like balance and coordination, and swimmer classified as S8 would be missing 3 things. I felt quite proud that I was an S10, and therefore basically very abled. In a flash, my race was next. I was helped to the blocks, the guns fired, and I was away. Backstroke, my event, my race. As I turned for the last 50 metres of the 100 metres race, I felt so tired and weak. I was slowing and my body was hurting. It wasn't like this in training. Then I touched the wall. What was my time? Did I break the world record? My PB, was that smashed? No, look at that time. 1:16. Oh my gosh, I can't swim anymore. It's all gone. The only thing I have left in this world, my swimming, has gone forever. The MS has ruined everything. The tears started before I even tried to get out of the pool, and then when I struggled to get out, Adrian had to start helping to pull me out. My body couldn't stop crying. My dream was over in my eyes for the second time in one life. Why am I bothering? Why did I believe I could come back after all these awful years? My life was never going to be easy, especially with this rotten illness. But dreams live forever and can never be broken. Why did my dream have to be torn from me yet again? This is so cruel. I tried to stop crying, and Adrian told me that I won the race and that the girl I'd beaten had not lost a race in 2 years. She was the GB number 1 and I had just beaten her. You are Great Britain's number 1 swimmer for 100 metres backstroke in the S10 category. That's great, Stephanie. You have qualified for Beijing 2008. No, it's not. Look at that time. I could swim that time when I was 12. Stephanie, you are a different swimmer now. You have to build back to get to that level again. You can do it. It is going to take a long time with lots of hours back in the pool, but the speed is there. You just have to believe in your body and believe in yourself. You can beat the time of 1:05.18 you swam as a 15 to 16-year-old, but it will take time. I know he's right. I am so frustrated with myself and with the MS. I know I can beat my old time. I need all my little things in place to do it. Eyes dry and on my way back home to tell my mum. Better not tell her what the time was though, as she would feel the pain too. I was now the fastest S10 100 metres backstroke female swimmer, and would therefore represent Great Britain as part of the Paralympics in Beijing. I needed to get an international classification as well as my original classification, which was just a national classification. I was therefore invited to go to Denmark Open Meet 2008, where I could get an international classification. This was my first Open Meet competing for Great Britain as part of our Paralympic team. It was so strange coming back to racing for Great Britain and being part of the national team again. Kind of. I wasn't sure if it felt the same as when I was younger and swam for the able-bodied team. On this occasion, I was a bit anxious and worried about what it would be like among all the swimmers with a disability. I have never had an issue with disabilities, as when I was younger I was close friends with Mandy, who only had one leg. I had never understood why people acted differently to people with a disability, when really they are still just the same as anyone else, but with an extra thing to think about. I had nothing to worry about, as we had already competed together at the National Championships in Sheffield to qualify for this event. It was so exciting being dropped off at the airport, and although we were in our own clothes and not the GB kit, as we had done every time we competed as an able-bodied GB athlete, it was still wonderful to meet some of the other swimmers. The flight was good, as I love travelling by air, and it always makes me think of holidays and flying to nice places. While I was in Denmark racing, I had to be reclassified by an international classifier so that I could compete in countries outside of the UK. Every Paralympic swimmer needs this reclassification. After my original classification, I was awarded an S10 classification, but after this reclassification, I was moved to an S9, which meant that I was now more disabled than I had been at the first classification. When I heard about this new classification, I cried and cried and felt so depressed. Although it was embarrassing to cry in front of everyone, it showed them all, myself included, that I had a fear about the MS and about getting worse. Dropping to a lower class meant that I was worse or more disabled than I was before. It was proof that I was getting worse. How do I stop this progression of the illness? I met the guy who reclassified me a few years later, and I told him how annoyed I had been. He just smiled. Truthfully, after the initial upset, I came to terms with being an S9 classification. I had a better and more confident feeling about this, so I can now swim well as an S9. Beijing Paralympic Games, here I come. Steve Fiveash was a great coach, but wasn't allowed to be my coach because of his role as part of British swimming, so I therefore had to find another one. I went to Bath Uni to see if I could train there. The university coach wanted to watch me swim a session and said that I would never be a good enough swimmer to train with him. She will never be a good enough swimmer, he had said, but I believed otherwise. I bet he felt a bit stupid when Bath University put the huge congratulations banner up at the Bath University Sports Training Village after I had swum well at the World Championships 2013, winning 4 gold World Championship medals. I remembered all my amazing coaches when I was younger, Peggy Tanner and Julia Early at Corsham ASC, with Sylvia Howland helping as a great support, David Lyles and then Ian Turner at Bath University, Steve Fiveash, Cherie Baker, Dave Pegg at Melksham ASC, who was lovely, and the amazing Bernie Nichols, who were wonderful. Little did I know that my next coach was going to be an incredible help for my career and for my dream.